Okay, I'm going to show you how to make the dreidel so that you can play the dreidel game. Now, on the home sheet, you should be able to find a document that looks just like this. The first thing you need to do is print it out. If you can't print it out, you can try and get someone to copy something that looks exactly like this. Okay? Now, what you are going to need to do is start to cut it out. You're going to need some scissors and some glue to do this. Now, Miss Bamford has already started to cut one out. She has cut out her dreidel so far, okay? Now, what I'm going to show you is a bit more of my cutting, okay? Because if we cut it like this, we won't be able to fold it properly. So Miss Bamford's going to make sure she cuts along the black lines. You might need someone to help you to do this. Now, I've cut along the black line. Now, when I'm cutting here, I've got to make sure I cut all the way along this black line so that this can turn into a flap. Again, I'm going to cut along this line and I'm going to stop. But here, I need to cut all the way into that corner bit. See? Fantastic. And I'm going to cut this bit here. And then I'm going to cut all the way along and until I've got to that corner. And here, please don't forget these bits. You have to cut one there and one right here, okay? Once you've cut it and you've got all these bits all along the black line, there's one other black line that we need to cut out, and it's this bit here. Now, this doesn't have to be completely accurate, but you just got to make sure you're making a little hole where this X is, because that's very important, because we're going to be putting something in there in a minute. The next thing you need to do is, you see these dotted lines. You have to fold along the dotted lines. So Miss Bamford's going to start her folding. She's folding along one dotted line. I'm going to fold along this dotted line and this dotted line and this dotted line. Don't forget the tab ones too. Okay. And when you fold it across all the dotted lines, it should look a little bit like this. So you should be able to move it around and see that it's going to start to make a kind of shape. Okay. So it's all folded. Every single dotted line's folded. The ones up here, the ones along here, and all these tabs here. Now you need to get a glue stick. Okay, and it's very important with your glue stick. What you're going to do first is you need to glue along these folded tabs. We're going to do it all at the same time. So we're going to glue that one. Now we're going to glue this one and this one and this one, because we're going to try and put all these triangles together. So I'm going to start down this end and I'm going to fold, holding it and stick it together like so. Press it down. Then I'm going to take the next one and I'm going to stick it down. I'm going to get the next tab. It's a bit of a fiddly job, so you might need another pair of hands to help you. And I'm going to stick it down. So it starts to look a little like this. Okay, now this last one is extra tricky. I'm going to put a little bit more glue on, because this one, we've got to really make sure when we down, we don't have any bits poking over. Okay, so here we go, sticking it all the way. There you go. So now it should look a little like this. The bottom bit's all stuck down and we've got some missing bits. Next bit we need to do is we need to stick glue on this tab that's sticking out here. And then we're going to stick it next to here, the line that it's next to, just like so. So now we can start to see our dreidel forming. We've got our end bit, we've got our square, now we just need the lid. So what you're going to do, you're going to make sure these bits are folded, and you're going to fold them down And just like what you did with the glue stick, you're going to put some glue on these tabs here. Very fiddly job. You might get a bit of glue on yourself, but that's fine. So I've put glue on those 3 tabs. This is where my hole is. Make sure you've remembered the hole, otherwise it's going to be very tricky to make a hole once you've done this. And I'm going to stick it in. Gets a little bit fiddly. Here we go. And we hold it. And we should have made our dreidel. And what you can do once you've made your dreidel is you have to get a pencil or a pen, and using the hole, you're going to stick it in. Make sure it's going all the way in. Like so. Now it might push it off a little bit. You can re-stick it, and we've made ourselves a dreidel. Now if you wanted to, you could have coloured your dreidel before you got started, but our end dreidel should look a little bit like this, ready to spin. And that is how you make a dreidel.